him!
This is the class trial field. How do you like it? It's a special place that will decide your fates.
Are you?
Yes, I remember that, Klonoa. What the hell is he thinking, locking us in a shitty-looking place like this?
Don't fuck with
Are you
me!
fucking crazy? Don't mess with me, asshole. Complain all you like. I'm used to it by now. Come on, you're wasting your time and energy. Hurry up and take your seats where your names are written. Looks like everyone knows. Even if we try to resist, it won't change a thing. Just as Monokuma ordered, we walked toward the seats we'd been assigned. From this point on, we need to find out who killed Byakuya. The ultimate affluent progeny, Byakuya Tagami. He was overly critical, arrogant, and condescending. He also had a strong sense of responsibility. As we were panicking, he accepted his role as leader and tried his very best to keep us together. A guy like him got murdered. The person who did it is one of us. I can't believe it. There's no way I can believe it. God, if it's really true. We need to find out by any means possible, because that's our only option. There's no way for us to survive unless we sacrifice the killer. And this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. No, I don't think we have any skills yet. Let's do a quick look over our truth bullets and just refresh ourselves on what we've got. Monokuma file, dead at roughly 11:30 p.m. Stabbed over 10 times. Body on the table is face down as if he were reaching for something. Master QA, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Radio Zero. Bloodstained knife found under the table with glowing paint. Bloodstain under the table. A lot of blood spattered against the inside of the tablecloth, meaning he was probably stabbed under here. Gaps in the floorboard. Gundam dropped one of his earrings through them. I'd love to know how he got it. AC timers for both were set to 11:30 p.m. Night vision goggles, which I'm pretty sure Byakuya was using himself. Mikon tripped and fell. I wonder if she did that intentionally. It would certainly draw attention afterwards. Give someone else a chance to move away from the table. Hey, says Enna. I'm enjoying it reasonably. I don't think it's as good as Danganronpa 1 yet, but I gather it gets a lot better. Duralumin case. We saw the stuff that was in there, including the key for the other case. Ibiki's account on the noises. Somebody stepped on Hyoko's feet. That's the main thing I take out of that. Byakuya recognized that something was going on. Well, someone bumped into Nagito, which means someone went past Hyoko and Nagito, and I remember where they were positioned. Teruteru came in. And Kazuichi went off to do something. But didn't actually accomplish anything. Irons in the storage room were all on. Bloodstained tablecloths found randomly stuffed inside a laundry hamper. I'm a little bit curious about that one. Teruteru's account, gas stove in the kitchen powered by electricity, so that's why he couldn't use it during the blackout. Kai and Pekka were the only ones who ate them, and technically Byakuya, but that's not relevant. Never found Akane to talk to her during any of that. Speculation, Nagito ran into the feet guy that pumped and pushed Byakuya on the knife. 10 times. I mean, he's a big guy. He might have bounced. Fire breaks out. A fire door in the hallway of the old building can be shut to keep fire from spreading. Kitchen equipment list. Knife found at the crime scene was not included on the list. Shaki's account was that Fuyuhiko came to the old building and left. We found the murder threat. Some nice handwriting. Kazuichi headed straight to the office. Didn't see anyone there, including Peko. Not entirely sure I believe him. Nikon's autopsy says stabbed repeatedly. Thin, sharp weapon. Nekomura was trying to use the bathroom, but it was always occupied until Byakuya was dead. And that's what we've got for the moment. Well, let's see what we can do with it. Hey, Cubby!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of
I
the
can give my
class
voice
trial.
a rest.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened.
Poor Byakuya.
And that person will earn the right to leave this island.
I like Brogami. Brogami's my buddy.
Such a cruel rule.
Before we begin, I'd like to confirm one thing. Is there really a killer among us?
Most definitely. There's no doubt that the blackened is lurking among you.
However, difficulty increases, it increases your payout, but it also has some minor alterations to the minigames. Everyone pretty much suggested that I don't run it on anything above gentle because everyone's here for the story anyways, so...
Such a sad state of affairs, isn't it? By the way, this class trial is gonna be 100% fair, so there's no need to worry.
I'm kind of leaning towards him as well, the mechanic. But I have some curiosities. I'm waiting to see how they pan out.
I'm the type who hates favoritism and prejudice. Well, not as much as I hate Monami, of course.
Of course.
That much?
Now, let's begin.
You're telling us to begin, but what are we supposed to do?
I'll be honest, Klonoa, I don't give a flying fuck about the mechanics in Danganronpa. I thought they were obnoxious enough as was in the first one.
No complaining, let's just settle this with our fists.
Were you even listening to the rules? Didn't that Byakuya bastard get killed in the dining hall, huh? Then everyone there is a fucking suspect.
Yeah, what you're really trying to say is that you're not the killer, right?
No shit. You guys went off on your own and started killing each other. This has nothing to do with me.
Huh? What does that mean?
Anyway, why don't we try talking about the most pressing issue on our minds? The most pressing issue on our minds? Where we found the body. It's very strange to find a body underneath a table.
Hey, Next Assassin. Yeah, the really fair fifth trial, right?
Then, let's start with that mystery.
The reason why Byakuya's body was discovered under the dining hall table. We can start with that, but ultimately we need to find out who murdered him. If we can't do that... No, thinking about if is a waste of time. We have to do this no matter what. Alright. Excuse my irritating rudeness. Yep, non-stop debates, which I assume are probably not any different than they used to be. God, just think, so many of those people are going to be little portraits by the end of all this. Up to you to reveal any lies or mistakes contained within their statements. Yeah. So, same as the first one so far.
why was Byakuya's body?
Oh, good God, Monami just freaking hanging up there.
His body was underneath the table at the very back of the dining hall.
After the killer murdered Byakuya, they probably moved the body there. No,
It's kind of sad that they don't have the little boxes. Instead, they just have the start-finish sort of slider.
No, I don't think the killer moved the body.
Huh? Why?
Try to remember what the body looked like when we found it under the table. Though there was a lot of blood everywhere, there was no sign the killer actually dragged the body through it.
The voices always sound way quieter during the trials, even though they're set to max.
I see. I get your point.
Oh, and here I thought I had a genius idea.
Too bad you're so stupid and boring and unpopular.
Hey,
Your
Jeremiah.
life is meaningless.
I respond better to praise, you know.
But if the killer didn't move the body, why was it under the table?
Are we playing as Makoto 2.0? Well, he seems like less of a wuss than Makoto does, at least.
Byakuya was probably killed under the table.
What? You think he was killed under the table?
So Byakuya snuck under the table for reasons unknown, and that's when he was killed. Then, shortly thereafter, we found his body under the table.
That does make sense, but why did he go under the table?
Obviously, he was hiding so he could surprise us. That dude was always a big jokester.
Are we talking about the same Byakuya?
The hell he was? You seriously couldn't tell what kind of person he was?
Makoto 2.0 is the guy in the hoodie. Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe he panicked during the blackout and dove under the table.
It's a blackout, not an earthquake. Just because the power went out doesn't mean you dive under the table.
He's also a long way away from it.
The reason why is probably connected to what Byakuya was doing during the party, don't you think?
Before the party even started, Byakuya was being unusually cautious about any dangerous items. That's the case, he dove under the table because of that. Where's that note? Oh, really?
Crap!
Wait, what? No, that doesn't... What? He didn't dive under the table? What the fuck? I'm not quite sure what they're even asking me. I'm seriously not even clear on what they're asking me. Fuck it, I'm really not sure what they're asking here. Nope. I actually don't get the question. Before he started, he was being unusually cautious about any dangerous items. Yeah. That... He did not dive under the table for... I'm gonna have to assume it's the knife then, I mean...
I can prove it with
okay.
this. It probably
It's like,
was
that's a
something
really fucking weird wording to the question.
Knife? Oh, you mean that thing that obviously screams, "I am the murder weapon"?
Speculation, Gundam trains his hamsters to kill them? No shit, right?
Byakuya probably noticed the knife was hidden there. So in order to get it, he moved under the table.
He was particularly sensitive to the presence of danger.
Are the voices really quiet to you guys as well?
Not deny that possibility.
Because they're turned up to max, but compared to outside the trial, they seem really quiet.
But how did he notice that there was a knife under the table?
If he knew beforehand, he probably would have done something about it before the blackout, right?
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment.
Yeah, they're super quiet, and that's what I thought. I wonder if I need to go in and adjust the music down even further.
Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
No, that's not possible.
What? You seem rather confident about that.
Of course. I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial!
During previous statement, there was only one weak spot. Okay, yeah, so now there's various weak spots. Okay, so, same as usual. Yeah, there's people I don't like in Danganronpa 2 either.
I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout.
That sounds correct. If that's the case... During the blackout, Mr. Ham-Hands must have seen the killer take the knife.
But it was super pitch black! It was so dark I couldn't see my food!
Yeah, she did scream about that.
Byakuya couldn't see in the dark either.
No, that's wrong. No, Byakuya was probably the only
Hey
one who
Derpstick, what do you mean how did Bergami get so far? Hiyoko for being the worst person ever. There's something wrong with that kid.
Why do you say that?
He was using those night vision goggles we found under the table. He could have seen what was happening.
Hang on, I'm gonna try... Can I get into my options from here? Alright, let's see how that works instead.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles?
That sounds a lot better on my end. How about you folks?
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Your reasoning is out of focus. No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
The other way around?
Seriously? The killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Okay, so this is one of the new mechanics. Just between you and me, I was also surprised. No, just kidding, not really. I object! Wait, what? We need to get, anytime Nagito objects to me, I'm just gonna assume it's like Danganronpa 1. One-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. You counter the other person's claim, drawing out their weak spots, and argue against them. Counter the other person's remarks with the directional buttons or by swiping the screen. What? Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally. What? Based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it will skew toward their advantage. Well, this should be interesting. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed. It's the number of times you can cut remarks during one round of the debate. Lose counts of sharpness even if you miss, so please be very careful. You may skews to your advantage for a certain length of time the other party's argument changes. This means the conversation will develop. That happens, it'll end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it'll skew the mood toward the other party's advantage, plus it's going to be very big. Just like a regular debate, refute any weak spots with the triangle button. Well, this is going to be... Tutorials aren't better, it seems. No shit, right? Here's just a boatload of fucking text. Using the touchscreen, please argue by swiping with 2 fingers. If you have the correct truth blade, you will not be able to cut an opponent's remark. What's a truth blade? Okay, the sire appears there's been a delay in contacting you. Make sure the person in charge of contacting you takes a very long vacation. In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. And that's about it. Okay. I really feel like they need to give you a warm-up for this, because that is a whole lot to read and sounds fucking weird as shit. I'm reminded of when they did the mini game for dancing the first time. The fucking rhythm game. Not dancing. The rhythm game. It's like, what the fuck even was all that crap I read? Too much goddamn text. Yeah, no shit.
Use common sense. The killer obviously used those night vision. That's gotta be it.
I can't back down!
Okay, I have no idea what we're doing here.
If you just use common sense.
So I'm supposed to be
The
doing...
killer obviously used those night vision. That's gotta be it.
Oh,
I can't
am I
back
not
down.
supposed to... I am confused.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Oh, that's just fucking weird.
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean,
Oh.
in reality,
I double
that's what
swiped, I'm not
happened.
sure what happened.
So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Whoops.
Damn it!
If you just use common sense.
Okay, I have no
The
idea what
killer
the fuck we're
obviously
even
used those
doing.
night vision goggles. That's gotta be it.
I can't back down!
Wow, this is amazingly
Where's your proof
obnoxious.
that the killer used them?
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, that's what happened. So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Nope, I totally do not understand what the fuck I'm even doing right now. Like, this is amazingly obnoxious. What the fuck is this? Yeah, part of the reason I play this stuff on General Klonoa is because I hate the mechanics that they actually use in the game. Like, I find them incredibly unenjoyable for the most part, except for the standard truth bullet refutation. But like, what the it's so fucking unclear what I'm even supposed to be doing right now.
If you just use common sense. The killer obviously used those night vision goggles. That's gotta be it.
Where's your proof that the killer used them?
Because if they used night vision goggles, then they could have killed Byakuya even in the dark. I mean, in reality, that's what... So those goggles were planned in advance. The killer brought them to the crime scene.
Nope, okay, apparently I'm not supposed to be doing that.
Because if they used night
Like,
vision
I don't get
goggles,
what her
then
health
they
even
could have
has to
killed
do with any
Byakuya
of
even... I
this.
mean, in reality, so those goggles were planned and the killer
Like, is
brought
that
them to the
helping me
crime
or hurting
scene.
me? I can't even tell.
Allow me to cut through those words!
Well, that sounded very Johnny Young Bosch. I have no idea what just
No,
happened.
Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
Definitely? But why?
Inside the Duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the
That was
party,
incredibly unenjoyable.
we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that Duralumin case as well. Woohoo! I said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language.
Spam all the buttons? Yeah, pretty much.
Plus, Byakuya
That's
was the
fucking
only one who
obnoxious.
could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case, since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
He sounds like a slightly less whiny Almaz from Disgaea 3 in
was
this role.
that knife inside the case too? If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too.
It would be weird.
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
Ew! You totally mean that in a perverted way.
The knife was brought in the Duralumin case along with the night vision goggles too? No, that's not possible. The knife was sitting in the dining hall before the party even started. Actually, the knife was hidden, left behind proof that makes me think... Yeah, the duct tape.
I see!
I don't think tonight's main dish is an option.
There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found. Huh? Duct tape? They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid? Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
Now that you mention it, that applies to the dangerous items he confiscated as well.
I like him as Adachi as well, Fred. That was fun.
It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
He probably knew. Someone was planning to commit a murder.
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
You know, sometimes he reminds me of Hiro, except
You
nowhere
think
near
so
as stupid.
too, right, Hajime?
That's right. Byakuya probably knew about... yeah. Probably knew because he specified item notified him in advance, which was... oops, not you. Trying to get that thing to go away.
I can prove it with this.
Okay, that fucking bobbing Ahoge is gonna drive me crazy.
Can you please take a look at this?
Oh yeah, Gundam's definitely better than Hero. But to be fair,
The
I mean,
hell is this?
Hero had no right to survive that game.
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
So, who's the someone?
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
Wasn't me!
And I will assume that Monokuma speaks the truth, which he did for most of the last game until we got to near the ending, just started lying through his teeth. Gundam Tanaka is the dark counterpart of George Jackman. Alright, I'd believe it.
The only lies I tell are friendly lies!
Those are still lies.
It doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
What do you mean?
By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other. In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they couldn't act.
You still like Hagakure? He had one moment near the end where I so thought he was actually like right on point when he called someone out as being the mastermind, and then he said, "You're all the mastermind." I was like, oh, for a moment, I thought he was smart. Just once. But no.
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk. His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone? I see. A strong sense of responsibility as our leader was his undoing.
Screw that noise! Who the hell wrote that letter?
Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer. Okay, I was wondering why I wasn't advancing. Is it really one of us? Who is it? Among us, who's the one who killed Byakuya?
Enough already! Show yourself, you coward!
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
I wonder if we'll find out that much like Celeste, Gundam's first name isn't actually Gundam. But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya? There's no way I can believe that yet.
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
You weren't a fan of Leon? I like Leon reasonably.
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles. If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
You're right.
they wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles. But if the
Actual name's
murderer had the
probably Gurren
goggles when they
Lagann.
took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in that darkness.
No, the killer definitely used a mark. That glow-in-the-dark paint. Because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from, there we go, glowing paint.
I see!
Stop bouncing, hair.
What if the glowing
Jesus.
paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark. In actuality, the knife we found under the table and the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of the characters didn't have a whole lot of reasonable personality unless you delved into their side stuff.
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark. Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
There were some people I definitely liked more after spending free time with them, and there were some people I definitely liked less after spending free time with them.
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office
Ishimaru
with the
was
circuit
excellent.
breaker.
Especially once he turned into Takarot. Which I'm pretty sure Steve probably still has that image floating around somewhere too.
Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama!
Peko killed poor Byakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers?
I am not the killer.
Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
I guess Akane's gonna be our Hina for this one.
But with Peko's height...
No, Nix, you
I
can't
don't
get all of
think
them. You
she'd
can only
be
get them
able to
in
reach the
school mode, which is something
circuit breaker
different.
in the office.
Would have liked Hero less if you talked to him more. We never hung out with him even a single time.
I don't care about a technicality like that. Peko's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
I may play Island mode, but I'm not gonna do it on stream. By tripping the breaker directly from the office, Peko is the one who caused the blackout. Is that really what happened? No. After this debate, blue-colored weak spots will start appearing. If we call the weak spots you've seen up to argue spots, the blue-colored weak spots will be agree spots. Oh good, there were a number of times when I wanted to actually agree with statements before. Have a good lurk, Bowman. Shooting agree spots the truth bullets, you need to flip your way of thinking. Yeah. Instead of arguing, which is good, because half the time I accidentally try to agree with people anyways. You must infer whether it's best to argue or agree based on what's being debated. Alright. Higamaru's account was that someone was in the bathroom the whole
Since
time.
Peko was in the office, she could have caused the blackout at any time.
That's impossible.
Huh? Why is it impossible?
Because I was not in the office. Not even before the blackout.
I agree with that.
Oh, she had some nice insert art there.
No, I think Peko is telling the truth.
Don't tell me you're crushing on Peko.
And yeah, it's nothing like that at all. Nekomaru's account is actually Peko's
Wow,
alibi.
he really sounded like Almaz during that. I've been trying to use it many times, so the door just won't open at all.
It's true. Someone was occupying the bathroom for a long time shortly after the party started. And it was finally freed up after Byakuya's body was discovered.
Then the person who was in the bathroom that whole time was actually...
Everyone else besides Peko was in the dining hall after the party started, right?
I see. So there's no way anybody else could have locked themselves in the bathroom except Peko.
I guess that would be... true.
You locked yourself in the commode? You should have said so earlier.
There's no way she'd actually say that. Gosh, you're so insensitive.
If she locked herself in the bathroom for that long, there's no doubt. It's shit.
Why is he so fucking scat obsessed?
Oh, there's no way she'd admit it. There's no way she'd admit she was taking a shit.
Hey, weren't you guys taught any basic manners, or were you raised in a locker room?
Well, to be fair, Ultimate Team Manager could have been raised in a locker room.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. How about we stop talking about this and move on to something else?
Don't worry, the smell wasn't that strong. I used the bathroom right after you, so you can trust me.
I said it's fine.
But still, you were in the bathroom for a really long time. Did you get food poisoning or something?
Yeah, I don't know who I wanted to die more, Nekomaru or Mikan. Maybe we'll have a nice double murder and they'll both go. That would definitely put a smile on my face.
As soon as I stepped into the office, I felt this sudden rush of pain in my stomach. Because of that, I was unable to leave the bathroom, including when the blackout occurred.
Hey, how did it feel to do your business in the dark? Did you get
Still want him to die
excited?
too.
Seriously, stop it.
But still, your stomach pain. Was that really just a coincidence?
Hey, what's the deal? Don't butt into other people's business, especially if you didn't do any investigating.
I'm only butting in because you fucking idiots are out of your element.
Stop this childish nonsense. Just what do you mean by coincidence?
I'm still waiting to hear how he got his earring back.
What I mean is it possible someone slipped her some laxatives?
Laxatives?
If so, the killer could have tripped the breaker as soon as that girl left the office, don't you think?
I see. That might have happened.
The question is whether Pecco's stomachache was a coincidence or if someone intentionally caused it. Depending on the answer, the outcome of this trial could change drastically. Knife AC timer, party dishes.
Did you eat anything weird?
I'm gonna go with the fact that only 2 people
I don't
ate the
remember
dishes.
eating anything weird. Now that you mention it, you brought food to the office, right? Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Alright, let's let it roll through.
Laxatives would ruin the taste.
Okay. Baby Gangsta. That is a good name for him.
Did you eat anything weird?
I don't remember eating anything weird. Now that you mention it, you brought food to the office, right?
Gonna go after the second
Just a
one.
little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
Taro cooked the food. How suspicious!
I wouldn't do anything like that. Laxatives would ruin the taste.
Okay, no, so it's not that one.
Crap.
Oh god, I don't know where
Did
my
you
brain's
eat
at today.
anything
Weird. I don't remember eating
No, honestly, Danganronpa, I'm
Now
not
that
even
you
really
mention it,
thinking
food
about
to
it
the
anymore.
office, right?
Just a little bit from
The dining hall. There might have been some.
Some laxatives in it, don't you
I'm
think?
not finding it as
Taro
interesting.
cooked the food. How
Oops.
suspicious!
As interesting as Danganronpa 1, so I kind of don't
taste.
care so much. I'm just gonna let it roll through and do its thing and just see how it all goes. Like, when I finished the first day of Danganronpa 1, just ask Alora. I fucking theorized stuff for like 2 hours after the cast. Finished the first day of Danganronpa 2, and I don't think I even talked about it for 5 minutes.
Did you eat
Anything weird? I don't remember eating anything.
Now that you mention
His
it,
voice doesn't
you
sound that
brought
much
food to the
different
office,
sped
right?
up, does it?
Just a little bit from the dining hall.
There might have been some laxatives in it, don't you think?
No, that's wrong. No, it's impossible that laxatives were slipped into the food in the dining hall. Because Pekka wasn't the only one who ate that food. Akane ate some of it too.
Did we ever find Akane during the investigation? She just completely disappeared.
If the food had laxatives in it, I'm pretty sure Akane would have had stomach issues as well.
I feel totally fine.
Like I said, the dishes are innocent. Don't go making weird accusations.
I apologize for causing a scene.
That's what I keep hearing, Dynalone, but I gotta be honest, I don't actually see anything in 2 yet that would make me put it over 1. I don't find it even remotely as interesting. The characters mostly feel like rehash mix-up of the people from Danganronpa 1. I feel like they've used their A-game already. So unless it gets a lot better, I think it'll clock in a lot lower than DR1 for me.
Fuyuhiko should apologize, not you. He's the one who made the laxative accusation.
What the fuck did you say, bitch?
Cease this bickering!
Let's just dismiss Pecco's stomachache as a coincidence and go back to discussing the
I love that
blackout.
Monomi's just hanging back there.
Yeah. We already know that, you trashy skank. You don't have to tell us. Trashy skank?
As long as the murder happened during the blackout, then the blackout itself is what's actually important. Just need to make it clear how that blackout occurred. Oh, we got Chucky's account, irons in the storage room tablecloth. Alright, let's see what they got to say.
Breaker, and how did they do it?
Okay, talking about the breaker.
If you can't answer that, I'm gonna bop you on the head.
Can you even reach anyone's head, you midget fuck?
Throw a stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker.
I'm going to agree with... Oh. I'm someone to agree with that. The fact that they're... Oh, literally the breaker, not tripping it, but... My bad.
The breaker, and if you can't answer that, did they throw a stone? Maybe they used a remote control. They probably messed with
It does not have to be the breaker. They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitters.
Okay, that's what I want to agree with then. I want to fucking agree! There's a bunch of shit going on!
the breaker, and if you can't answer that, did they throw a stone? Maybe they used a remote control. They probably messed. It does not have to be the. They may have tampered with the.
Or maybe they caused a power surge?
Oh shit, I should've just waited one more. Alright,
I
let's
bet
just
it's really
verify.
Monokuma's fault.
By the way, I'm not a trashy skank.
I'm not so inclined to agree with that one.
Who tripped the breaker, and how did they do it?
Yoko's really funny. She's
If you can't answer
interesting.
that,
I like her
I'm gonna bop you
facial
on the head.
expressions,
Did they
especially
throw
that
a
one.
stone and hit it?
Maybe they used a remote control?
They probably messed with the breaker. It does not have to be the breaker.
They may have tampered with the power supply and transmitter. Or maybe they caused a power surge?
I'm
I
definitely
agree
not
with
going to be
that.
spending any time... my advice, honestly, don't whisper. I've seen people fuck that up and drop spoilers in the chat.
It's just as Mahiru said. The blackout was caused by a power surge. Of course, that's not a coincidence. Someone caused it intentionally.
He sent Hiyoko's facial expressions.
Which is why those three
She has
irons
some of the best
were
ones so
arranged
far.
to cause the blackout. When you found them right after the blackout, the irons were still on, right?
So by leaving those irons on in the storage room, they deliberately caused a power surge.
Yeah. It seems that's how the killer caused the blackout.
Stupid fool!
Oh god, do I do this obnoxious crap again?
Hold on a second, let me speak too!
Nobody gives a fuck what you have to say.
What the heck?
You say the irons in the storage room were used to trigger the blackout? That's inexcusable!
So we got AC timer, Durlum
If
case.
the irons in the storage room caused the blackout, then for the killer to turn the irons on, you're saying they went all the way to the storage? Then that means everyone who was in when the blackout occurred can't be a suspect.
I can't back down!
God, I hate having to
No,
put that
just
down to
because
hammer
people
faster.
were in the dining hall doesn't mean they're not a suspect.
But the people in the dining hall weren't able. If the irons caused the blackout,
Allow me to cut through those words.
He sounds so very Johnny Young Bosch when he says that.
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't
Any characters
the
I really like?
trigger.
At the moment, I like Chiaki. Chiaki amuses me. I kind of like Ibuki. I'm torn on Hyoko. I want to actually spend some time with her. I mean, I liked Brogami, but I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really weird for Fat Brogami to appear. Kind of like, why? And they never answered. We never found out why Brogami got fat. I want to know. They better answer that in Ultra Despair Girls, or I'm gonna be pissed off. Because it's so weird. Nagito seems reasonable so far, but I have issues with him because of things outside of this game that I cannot go into. Will not go. Well, let's say will not go into, because they're related to other spoiler-type things, so I have issues with him.
The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on.
Air conditioners!
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
Yes, why did Bergami get fat? The ultimate mystery. You say he ate Toko. Okay, I hadn't heard that one yet.
11:30 p.m. Mr. Ham-Hands died around that time too!
Being bullied yourself, really don't like Hyoko. Which is funny, because I was bullied for a lot of my life. But I have no issue with Hyoko.
I see.
To be
When
fair,
the
I'm an asshole,
timers activated
so...
the air conditioners, the breaker was tripped and caused a blackout. I see. I understand. Indubitably.
Didn't even mention Nekomaru. No, I fucking hate Nekomaru. I honestly want him to die next.
Indubitably?
They probably checked the old building's energy usage in advance and used the irons to nearly max it out. So once they set the air conditioner's timers, they just had to wait until they started up on their own.
Hey, Sherlock, have the minigames been any better? No. No. They're just as obnoxious as before.
If so, even if Pekka was in the office, it still would have been possible to cause a blackout, indubitably.
Indubitably? Miss Sonia, not you too.
Regarding the energy usage...
Really, Danny Lum? I want him to
probably
just
asked Mama
fucking
Kuma
haul off
about
and
it.
die for me right now. I'm sick of listening to him.
Dun dun dun! Is she right? Such a hateful bear!
I'm done with his scatological obsession already.
1,000 deaths!
1,000, you say? If I died that many times, I might really stay dead, you know?
Shut up! You guys just stay quiet!
Hey, SingStar, how you doing? Don't like Mahiro and Hyoko either. Mahiro doesn't really have anything for me right now. She's just sort of like, whatever.
I couldn't have prevented the blackout even if I was in the office. But even so, I feel if I was in the office, I could have reset the breaker in time. And maybe the murder wouldn't have occurred.
Any suspects left? We haven't eliminated any of my suspects yet.
No. The breaker in the office was built into a high area of the wall that's impossible to reach. Resetting the breaker in that darkness would have been impossible, no matter what.
Besides, Monokuma says he did it, and I'm inclined to believe the little bastard.
Sounds like you don't need to blame yourself.
Even so, the killer is so sly. I'm starting to worry we may never actually find them.
It's alright. You don't have to worry.
So does Best Bro. No Kazurichi? Hey, J-Rod, how's it going?
Because they're just a petty killer, right? They can't defeat symbols of hope like you guys.
I really wonder about Nagito, though.
There's no way everybody will lose now. This little incident will just be a stepping stone for you all. In the end, hope always wins. That's what I believe.
Nagito? What happened to you?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you have been saying this whole time that there's no way a killer could be among us.
Oh, is that so? Well, let's just put that minor detail aside for now and talk about the incident. For now, we found out how the blackout occurred. But the question is,
Liquidate
who
soda.
caused it, right?
Shark Week is a bro. Shark Week's a good word for him. I like that.
Anybody could have hid and set the timers for the air conditioners. Setting up the irons in the storage room could have been done before Byakuya set foot in the old building. What a shame. Any one of us is capable of that.
I love the way he's delivering those lines with just that smile. We're all murderers!
What are you implying?
He's just saying, after all this time, we still haven't made any progress.
Huh? Even though we have been arguing for so long?
Unfortunately, it's the truth. Despite the fact that we've discussed this at length, there's not even one clue that leads to the killer. But that might be because there's no way any of us could be a killer.
You're changing your story again?
Anyway, I have an idea about what we all should do at this point. Has anyone thought about our situation like this? Instead of surviving by doubting others, isn't it better to get killed for believing in others?
Yeah, he's starting to remind me of what I know about him.
Doesn't that mean... Are you saying we should all just give up and die?
Nagito, there's definitely something wrong with you.
You guys only think there's something wrong with me because there's something wrong with you. Suspecting each other like this. There's no way that's healthy behavior. Let's stop this already. We don't have to find out who the killer is. I can't stand this anymore. I don't want to do this to my friends.
Do we have another split personality in the group?
I don't want to do this either.
Me too!
Pretty sure he's just psychotic,
take
not
me
actually
home
multiple
already.
personalities. Hey, Dobergon!
I want to go home and eat candy!
That's horrifying.
Stop it. If everyone acts like this,
Everyone calm down.
We're all friends, aren't we? There's no way one friend would
Trying to crash this
murder
train on
another.
purpose.
Then why did Byakuya die?
Who cares? Let's just give up already. There are no clues that lead to the killer anyway. Not a single one.
Well,
that's
Nagito.
wrong. I think...
Like her facial expressions too.
Did you say something?
'Cause we've already found a clue that might point to who the killer is.
A clue, you say?
Wow, that was really quiet for him.
You know who the killer is?
The killer? I don't know. But we do have a clue about a suspicious
That
person.
sprite is adorable.
I think.
I see. Then care to tell me, what's this clue you're talking about?
First of all, let's try thinking about how the killer was able to
Yeah,
obtain
please
the
refrain
knife
from
during the
commenting on
blackout.
speculation if you played the game. I don't care if it's confirming or denying. We don't want to hear it.
Didn't we already cover that? They use glowing paint as a mark.
No, not that. I mean before that.
Before? Is she asking how the killer got close to that table? Even if they had to obtain the knife by relying on the glow from the paint in order to do that, they need to get close to that table while it was still dark.
Let's try examining the situation. Mahiru's diagram might be useful here.
The diagram of where everyone was standing before the
Yeah,
blackout,
okay, I
right?
was wondering when we get to this.
Here it is.
Oh god, you're right. That does look like the hood setup. There are 3 people in that lineup. 3 people in that lineup who had to go through Hyoko and Nagito. They were the 2 people who got their feet stepped on. Just as I thought, this diagram is the clue. Who the killer is and how they were able to move onto the table, or move to the table in the dark. Of course, someone could have traced the lamp line. It's clearly shown in this diagram. First, we need to discuss how the killer was able to move to that table in the dark. Killer probably used something to help them move in the dark. Okay, this is new. Wait, select a suspicious spot?
Here!
I can assume they used the
Killer
lamp
must
line.
have used the desk lamp to move to that table in the dark.
Fuyuhiko wasn't at the party, that's correct, Kyubey. And Teruteru is not missing, but he was assumed to be in the kitchen. There's just no specific proof.
The desk lamp? I hope you don't mean they turned on a light or something.
There was a blackout. There's no way the killer could have used the desk lamp.
Of course, there's no way they used the desk lamp light. They used... oops. Power cord.
I can prove it with this! They didn't turn the desk lamp on. They used its power cord.
The power cord?
They could have felt their way to that table using the power cord, right? By doing that, the killer was able to move to the table, then use the glowing paint to find the knife.
And there's only one person here who could have done that.
Well, Nagito's the closest to it, but in the dialogue it sounded like someone bumped into both Hyoko and him. He's the closest person to it, though.
Who?
The person who reached the table by feeling along the desk lamp's power cord. Well, if we're not going to go into it, I'm just going to pick someone. The person would have been able to grab the desk lamp's power cord right when the blackout happened. In which case, we're definitely looking at Nagito. Let's smile and wave, man.
You're the only one!